भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, seventh chapter, scheduled incarnations with specific functions. Text number 2 onwards. So Brahmaji is telling Narad Muni about different incarnations of Krishna. Jatur rucher janyat suyaman suyagya akuti sunur maranat dakshinayam लोकत्रयस्य महतीम अहरद यदार्ति स्वयं भुवेन मनुना हरिरेति अनुक्तः. The Prajapati first begot Suyagya in the womb of his wife Akuti, and then Suyagya begot demigods headed by Suyam in the womb of his wife Dakshina. Suyagya as Indradev diminished very great miseries in the three planetary systems, upper, lower, and intermediate. And because he so diminished the miseries of the universe, he was later called Hari by the great father of mankind, namely Swayambhuva Manu. So this Hari is different from Hari Krishna, this Prajapati. So there are different Manus, like 14 Manus in one day of Brahma. And all these Manus are incarnations of Krishna, basically. And then Prajapati is the who begets lots of kids to take on for populating the whole universe. Because all the souls, all the jivas are going to come from the body of Mahavishnu, and they have to have some kind of body, material body in the material world for them to have the activity. So all these Prajapatis, especially Brahmaji, they have this specific duty, responsibility to create all the bodies, different bodies. So all these souls can take shelter of, and they carry on with their karmas and then the desires and the actions and reactions because they need the bodies. So it's not like the bodies are just made by the combination of chemicals and nobody knows which soul is going to get into which body and what is going to happen. It'll be all chaos. But it is not chaos. The whole universe is very well organized, very well planned. Every single living entity gets a body under the supervision of different demigods. And then he lives. In fact, the whole body that we have, every single part of the body is being controlled by different demigods. Every single part. Nothing goes on without the control. Of course, the only thing that is not in control is our mind. That's all. That can also be controlled, actually. So mind is not in control, and then the desires, and then the desires are there. Then further on, everything is controlled. We desire, the sanctioning is done by Paramatma. Then the three modes of nature take over. Three modes of nature are controlled by different demigods. So everything is controlled, actually. We are basically like puppets. Only thing is we have to become puppets of Krishna, puppets in the hands of Krishna, instead of puppets in the hands of Maya. So anyway, so here Brahmaji is talking about this Prajapati, Hari. He was later named as Hari by his father, by the great father of mankind, namely Swayambhuva Manu. Swayambhuva Manu is the first Manu in the day of Brahma. So every day there is Swayambhuva Manu, but every day it's a different person who takes a position of Swayambhuva Manu. In order to guard against the invention of unauthorized incarnations of God by the fanciful, less intelligent persons, the name of the father of the bona fide incarnation is also mentioned in the authorized revealed scriptures. No one, therefore, can be accepted as an incarnation of the Lord if his father's name, as well as the name of the village or the place in which he appears, is not mentioned by the authorized scriptures. So here, the Prajapati first begot Suyagya in the womb of his wife Akuti, and then Suyagya begot demigods headed by Suyama in the womb of his wife Dakshina. So all the details are given in different scriptures. So we know who is incarnation of God and who is not. So that's why the chapter is scheduled incarnations with specific functions. In the Bhagavad Puran, the name of the Kalki incarnation, which is to take place in almost 400,000 years, is mentioned along with the name of his father and the name of the village in which he will appear. A sane man, therefore, does not accept any cheap addition of an incarnation without reference to the authorized scriptures. So just like we were discussing about Kalki, yesterday we did talk about Kalki a little bit. Later on it is mentioned in Bhagavatam which village he will appear in, what will the name of his father and mother, and when he will appear. So there, I have heard there's so many people, because Kalki Avatar is the next Avatar who's going to come, and people want to cash in on his appearance. So they are already saying, oh, he appeared in Kapurthala. There is a nice big temple of Kalki Avatar in Kapurthala, Punjab. Then there are different places where they say Kalki Avatar appeared here, Kalki Avatar appeared there. And in fact, one of the scientists, one of the scholars, so-called scholars, historians, he said, one who started Islamic faith, Hazrat Muhammad, he is incarnation. He is actually Kalki Avatar. So he has already appeared. I don't know where they get these stories from, why they make up all these stories. Kalki Avatar is going to appear towards the end of Kali Yuga and towards the beginning of Satyuga. So it still has about 400,000 years to go. So, not yet. Text number 3. Jagya kardam grihe dvij devahutyam stribhi samam navabhiratma gatim sumatre uche yayatma shamlam guna sanga pankam asmin vidhuya kapilasya gatim prapede. The Lord then appeared as a Kapil incarnation, being the son of the Prajapati Brahman Kardam and his wife Devahuti, along with 9 other women, sisters. He spoke to his mother about self-realization, by which in that very lifetime, and she became fully cleansed of the mud of the material modes, and thereby achieved liberation, the path of Kapil. So Lord Kapil Dev, he was born from Kardam Muni and his wife Devahuti. So when we went to Ahmedabad, when we went to Dwarka Yatra, so we started from Ahmedabad, so close to Ahmedabad, about 1.5 hours away from there. So this beautiful place, of course. Place was beautiful, and now it is kept very nicely by Gujarat government. So that is the place where it is said Kapil Deva. Kapil Deva appeared, and then he instructed his mother Devahuti. So there's a beautiful ashram there, and a very nice pond is there. Bindu Sarovar is there. Bindu Sarovar is where Karda Muni was doing his tapasya, and where Lord Vishnu appeared. And Lord Vishnu, and somehow Karda Muni had a desire, developed, although he was doing tapasya, but there he developed a desire to get married. So Lord Vishnu appeared, and he said, there'll be a very proper, very suitable girl will very soon come in this forest, and you should marry her. So Devhuti, Mother Devhuti came with her father, Swayambhuva Manu, and although Swayambhuva Manu is the king, and Karda Muni was tapasvi, ascetic, and he was doing tapasya, he didn't even have a palace or even a proper hut, because he was just doing tapasya sitting under a tree. But still, Swayambhuva Manu, under the instruction of Lord Vishnu and Brahmaji, he got his girl, daughter Devhuti, married to Karda Muni. Of course, this is given in more detail in third canto. When we go to third canto, we'll study that. So even after marriage, Karda Muni kept on doing his tapasya. So Devhuti, Mother Devhuti, she kept on serving Karda Muni, because Karda Muni would go in tapasya, means he would go in meditation for days and days and days. And Mother Devhuti would not eat anything till her husband has eaten. So basically, she was also doing tapasya, but without sitting down and closing the eyes. So after long tapasya, Karda Muni, then he opened his eyes, and he saw Mother Devhuti. Mother Devhuti had become very thin because she hadn't eaten for so many days. And then her body luster was gone because she was also doing tapasya. And then Karda Muni realized, oh, she was the daughter of a king, and what have I done to her? And this is not why I got married. And then she asked Mother Devhuti, go take bath in that Bindu Sarovar. And she did. And when she came out, she had regained all the beauty and the bodily health, body luster, everything. And then Karda Muni, being such a tapasvi, he created an aeroplane. And that aeroplane was the size of a planet, actually. It was not a planet, it was a big palace, size of a big palace. And he created that aeroplane by his tapabal. And that palace had everything, rooms and gardens and the lakes, everything was there. So he entered that palace along with his wife, Devhuti, and he had created lots of apsaras, lots of maid servants. And then on that palace, he took Mother Devhuti to all the different planets in the universe, where he wanted to just satisfy her, please her. And then Karda Muni wanted to go, after pleasing her, after giving her all the comforts, he wanted to go back to tapasya. Mother Devhuti said, well, at least you have to give me some babies. You can't just go back to tapasya. And not just tapasya, he wanted to leave the house, and because now Devhuti had the palace. So Devhuti said that you cannot just leave. Give me some progeny, give me some children. So Karda Muni gave her children, but they were all girls. So 9 girls, it is mentioned in the shloka. So again, he wanted to live, but Devhuti said, at least give me a son who can protect me, who can take care of me. So then Karda Muni gave her the son who was incarnation of Krishna himself, Lord Kapildev. And although Lord Kapildev is the Supreme Lord himself, and Karda Muni was going to the forest to meditate on the Supreme Lord. He could have stayed at home and could have still meditated. Even if he can't talk to Kapil Dev, it's good as meditation. But still, he wanted to fulfill his dharma, to leave the house, to retire. And he left the house. And so Kapil Dev was there with Mother Devhuti, with his mother. So Kapil Dev also, now he is, because that is the time of Satyuga, so he also wanted to leave the house and go for meditation, go for tapasya, self-realization. They wanted to, because that is the Yug Dharma. But Mother Devhuti then asked him lots of questions. And Kapil Dev answered all those questions very wonderfully. So listening to all the answers from Kapil Dev, Mother Devhuti got self-realized. And then Kapil Dev left the house for meditation, tapasya. So that question answers wonderful. Prabhupada published a book, and the instructions of Lord Kapil Dev, and that will come in third canto. Of course, when we get to that, you will again say, "Oh, it's lots of philosophy," because it's a Sankhya Yoga, the real Sankhya Yoga, the yoga of analysis of all the elements of the universe. But it's part of Bhagavatam and it's spoken by Lord Kapil Dev himself. So we will study that when we get there. The instructions of Lord Kapila to his mother Devhuti are fully described in the third canto, chapter 25 through 32. So 8 chapters of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And anyone who follows the instructions can achieve the same liberation obtained by Devhuti. The Lord spoke Bhagavad Gita, and thereby Arjuna achieved self-realization. And even today, anyone who follows the path of Arjuna can also attain the same benefit as Sri Arjuna. The scriptures are meant for this purpose. Foolish, unintelligent persons make their own interpretations by imagination and thus mislead their followers, causing them to remain in the dungeon of material existence. However, simply by following the instructions imparted by Lord Krishna or Lord Kapila, one can obtain the highest benefit, even today. So if we don't apply our own imaginations and our own interpretations to the scriptures, we can really get benefited. And that's why Prabhupada, when he wrote his commentary on Bhagavad Gita, he called it Bhagavad Gita as it is. Means he didn't change anything, he didn't add, he didn't delete, he didn't subtract anything. He just presented it as it is, the way Krishna wanted it. So that's why Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, even till today, has been sold all over the world. So many people are reading it. So many people, thousands of people are getting benefited by reading this Bhagavad Gita. And then more and more will join. More and more people will read and get benefited. The word Atmagatim is significant in the sense of perfect knowledge of the Supreme. One should not be satisfied simply by knowing the qualitative equality of the Lord and the living being. One should know the Lord as much as can be known by a limited knowledge. It's impossible for the Lord to be known perfectly as he is, even by such liberated persons as Shiva or Brahma. So what to speak of other demigods or men in this world? Still, by following the principles of the great devotees and the instructions available in the scriptures, one can know to a considerable extent the features of the Lord. So to a certain extent, by following the scriptures, because scriptures have a clear description of the Lord, so we can know to a certain extent. As far as our eligibility is concerned, we can know. His Lordship, Kapila, the incarnation of the Lord, instructed his mother fully about the personal form of the Lord. And thereby she realized a personal form of the Lord and was able to achieve a place in the Vaikuntha Loka, where Lord Kapila predominates. So Kapil has his own planet, Kapil Loka, in the Vaikuntha planet. So Mother Devhuti reached that planet. Every incarnation of the Lord has his own abode in the spiritual sky. Therefore, Lord Kapila also has his separate Vaikuntha planet. The spiritual sky is not void. There are innumerable Vaikuntha planets, and in each of them, the Lord, by his innumerable expansions, predominates, and the pure devotees who were there also live in the same style as the Lord and his eternal associates. So, same style as the Lord means same spiritual position. But at the same time, the Lord and the devotees, they have different roles to play. When the Lord descends personally or by his personal plenary expansion, such incarnations are called Ansha, Kala, Guna, Yoga, and Manvantar incarnations. And when the Lord associates descend by the order of Lord, such incarnations are called Shakti-Avesh. So Shakti and Avesh means they got the special potency of the Lord to perform certain a particular activity. Like later on in this chapter, we will read about Prithu Maharaj. So he was a Shakti-Avesh avatar. Means he had the Shakti, he had the potency of ruling over. Like Prabhupada is also considered Shakti-Avesh avatar. So he had the Shakti of preaching and especially of writing books. Of course, somebody can ask, Prabhupada is not mentioned in any scripture as such. As such, he is not by his name, but like in Chaitanya Mangala, it is said, Mahaprabhu said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that more Senapati Bhakta, one Senapati Bhakta of mine will come and he will take my message to the far off villages and towns. So indirectly we can understand that he's referring to Srila Prabhupada. But in all cases, all the incarnations are supported by the invulnerable statements of the authorized scriptures and not by any imagination of some self-interested propagandist. Such incarnations of the Lord in either of the above categories always declare the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be the absolute truth, ultimate truth. The impersonal conception of the Supreme Truth is just a process of negation of the form of the Lord from the mundane conception of the Supreme Truth. So Prabhupada further writes, the living entities by their very constitution are spiritually as good as the Lord, and the only difference between them is that the Lord is always supreme and pure without contamination by the modes of material nature, whereas the living entities are apt to be contaminated by association with the material modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So this contamination can be washed off by devotional service. So next verse, we still have time. Atrer patim abhikankshata ahatushto datto mayaham iti yad bhagwan sadattaha yad pad pankaj parag pavitra deha yogardhima purubhaim yaduvaha hayadya. The great sage Atri prayed for offspring, and the Lord, being satisfied with him, promised to incarnate as Atri's son, Dattatreya, Datta the son of Atri. And by the grace of the lotus feet of the Lord, many Yadus, Hayas, etc. became so purified that they obtained both material and spiritual blessings. So this Dattatreya, it's a very wonderful story about him. That Atri Muni, he prayed, he and his wife, they prayed for an offspring. But somehow in their prayers, they said they prayed to all the three, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, And they prayed that whoever is supreme, please come as my son. Please appear as my son. So somehow he got bewildered that who is supreme, he didn't know. So they all three of them had appeared, and so all three of them are supreme in one way or the other. Of course, real supreme is Vishnu in one. So it is said that all of three of them combined together, and they became the son of Dattatreya. That this became son of Atri Rishi, and that's why he became Dattatreya. So all three of them combined. And then later on, uh, he had many disciples like Yadus, Hehayas, and in fact, he said Prahlad Maharaj was also his disciple. So he gave wonderful instructions later on. Prabhupada is writing, the great sage Atri was related with the Lord in the affectionate Vatsalya humor, and therefore, as a result of his devotion and perfection, he was inclined to have the personality of Godhead as his son. The Lord accepted his prayer, and he gave himself as a son of Atri. Such a relationship of sonhood between the Lord and his pure devotees can be cited in many instances. And because the Lord is unlimited, he has an unlimited number of father devotees. Factually, the Lord is father of all living entities, but out of his transcendental affection and love between the Lord and his devotees, the Lord takes more pleasure in becoming the son of a devotee than in becoming one's father. So, Krishna can do anything. The father actually serves the son, whereas the son only demands all sorts of services from the father. Therefore, a pure devotee who is always inclined to serve the Lord wants him as a son and not as a father. So, this is only in Vaishnava tradition we talk about that. Like if we talk about Christian tradition, they always go, "Oh, Lord, my Father, please give us a daily bread," because they always want to the services from the Father. But now in Vaishnava, one son, baby, little baby also. I think Laddu Gopal I would say, is the most popular deity in the whole world. People might not be able to serve Radha Krishna or Sita Ram. They might not have that kind of affection. But Laddu Gopal, I think every Vaishnava would have in his house Laddu Gopal. That's for sure. Because they want to treat Krishna as their own son. And he also reciprocates. That's for sure. Even as Laddu Gopal, he can demand lots of things from his material parents. If you really love him, if you really serve him, he can place lots of demands. He can even come at night in the dreams, and he can say, "Okay, tomorrow I want to eat this. You prepare that for me." He does that. Not just can do it, he does that. So he loves to become like that. That is special relationship. So anyway, so we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Prajapati and Brahmaji are same.
Yes and no. Prajapati is any Prajapati who is the father of any kind of species. But Brahmaji is also called one of the Prajapatis because he creates so many species of life. But there are different Prajapatis also. Like Daksh Prajapati, he is the father of Sati. Sati married Shivji later on. So that father Daksha and that wonderful story will also be in Bhagavatam later on.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Thank you,
I
Prabhuji.
guess we can stop. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Jai
Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you very much.
Shri Prabhupada. Thank you.